guys, Jody here, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Jody, and on my channel I talk about Broadway, wearing my t-shirt for the Broadway musical Xanadu, and books. And in today's video, I'll be talking about books. More specifically, what books I may or may not end up reading this winter. My winter TBR, if you will. So without any further ado, let's get on to today's video. So I'm what you would call a mood reader. So TBRs at the end of the day are probably pointless and silly for me to do because I'm probably not going to stick to them because, you know, mood reader, if I'm not in the mood to read something that I put on my TBR, you know, I'm not going to probably read it and I'll read something else. But either way, I really enjoy watching these videos that other booktubers make, and I thought, you know, I've made a few of these TBR videos, and what I've learned from my time making these videos is that I usually end up picking at least one of the books I talk about in these videos on my TBR. So yeah, that's not nothing, at least for me being a movie reader and all. Before I get into the books that I will hope to read, I'm looking over here a lot because I'll be talking about these books today, all holiday themed for the most part. And yeah, I will also, before I get into the books I hope to read this winter, my winter TBR, I'm going to talk a bit about what I'm currently reading. It's not a part of my TBR as I am already reading it, but, you know, I thought I'll just talk about it. Maybe you aren't aware of this book and, you know, whatever. Okay, so I'm currently reading Taylor Adams' No Exit, and I say currently reading in quotes because I've probably been reading this on and off for the last, I don't know when I started this, maybe a month ago at this point, a few weeks at least. And I've been reading it kind of here and there. That's just how I've been reading lately. What can I say? Sometimes if I'm super sad or just like feeling not motivated, I don't read a lot. And I, you know, picked this book up to read because I've heard amazing things about it. Also, it was adapted into a Hulu movie. It has a film adaptation that Hulu made on Hulu. And so I thought, you know, I like a good book adaptation, and I'll pick this up to read finally. And I'm around page 80, I believe, on this. It's a mass market paperback, so page 80 will probably look different if you have a paperback, a trade paperback, or a hardcover copy. But yeah, I really like this. I can understand why so many people like this book in particular and like Taylor Adams' writing. From what I've read so far, it's amazing writing, amazing storytelling. The characters are all so well developed, and you know, it's very much like a thriller where you know something's like you're getting that thrill right along the way. And I really like it. I think I might end up rereading everything I've read and making more of a goal to read at least every night, because I feel like with a book like this, I never read a book in one sitting, but this is definitely a book you can read in one sitting. But you know, at least, you know, read every night so you can get that full effect of like the thrill ride, because it's a thriller. But yeah, it's really good. I do recommend it if you like thrillers, because from what I've read so far, it definitely is a book that reels you in. And if you've never heard of this book before, it comes highly recommended from a lot of channels on BookTube, but I'll let you know what it's about based on the synopsis on the back of the book, because sometimes I don't talk eloquently, as you can tell. On her way to Utah to see her dying mother, college student Darby Thorne gets caught in a fierce blizzard in the Colorado Rockies. With the roads impassable, she's forced to wait out the storm at a remote highway rest stop with no cell phone reception. Inside are some vending machines, a coffee maker, and 4 complete strangers. Desperate to find a signal to call home, the exhausted young art student goes back out into the storm how to say that for dramatic effect, and makes a horrifying discovery. In the back of the van parked next to her car is a little girl locked in an animal crate. Who is the child? Why has she been taken? And how can Darby save her? There is no way to call for help and no way out. One of her fellow travelers is a kidnapper, but which one? Trapped in an increasingly dangerous situation on the edge of civilization, with a child's life and her own life on the line. With the child's life and her own on the line, Darby must find a way to break the girl out of the van and escape. But who can she trust? ... And yeah, like I said, there's a reason why this book is so popular and so highly recommended. It is a very good book. From what I've read, I can totally say I can understand why. I think I'm going to end up rereading this because I haven't read it like in a proper way where you have to read it every night at least to get that proper thrill ride effect. And you know what I mean? So that's what I'm currently reading. I just thought I'd point that out before I get to my potential winter TBR, or as I like to call mood reader, picking winter TBR, because who knows if I'll end up reading these books I talk about today. But I thought at the very least I'll let you know about some holiday books that maybe you did or did not know about, and yeah, or maybe some books in general, because one of them is not a holiday book, but it's a thriller, and I just thought, why not just add a bit of thriller to this holiday themed TBR, winter TBR. So these are the books I'll be talking about. I've already showed them, but I'll show them once more. And yeah, sorry about that. So a few of these books are ones that I've had for a while, at least since last year or so. And two of these books are recent purchases. And yeah, so I'll get on to the ones that I guess I, just recently purchased because they are in the stores now. Maybe you've seen them at the store and you're like, you haven't read the back of the synopsis, you don't know what it's about, and I'll let you know what it's about. So, I recently purchased Love Holly by Emily Stone and A Winter in New York by Josie Silver. I saw these at the bookstore, and, I really like the covers, and that's why I bought them. But also, I've heard of these authors. Josie Silver wrote One Day in December. That's a Reese Witherspoon book pick, and I have not read it. Do I have it? Yes. But I'll get to it eventually. And Love Holly, I picked this up because I have two other books by Emily Stone. One I actually will be talking about in my winter TBR called One Last Gift, and the other one is I think over there somewhere. But I think it's Always in December. But when I didn't know what this book was about, but just based on the artwork alone and knowing that's a holiday themed book, I said this looks like the same kind of artwork done on Emily Stone's other books. I haven't read any of her books yet, but just if I didn't see her name on the bottom, I would know it was her book because they all have like probably the same artist doing the cover, and they're really pretty covers. Isn't this beautiful? Yeah. Okay, so I actually don't know what this is about. I kind of just got it because I'm like, I like the cover, and I have a few other books by Emily Stone. And I'm like, why not? Right? Make the holiday season interesting and buy a new book. Okay, so we will learn about what this is together because I kind of just picked it up because I like the cover, and that's kind of why. Okay, so sometimes it takes a stranger to bring you back to yourself. Ever since a car accident tore her family apart, Holly has been part of a Lonely Hearts Holiday Letter Writing Club. Each December, she writes to a stranger who is also spending Christmas alone and receives a letter from another lonely person in return. Usually the letters go unanswered. That's the point. The letters are anonymous, and the senders write whatever is in their heart. But this year, the letter Holly receives is different. Not only is the letter full of a grief she knows all too well, but its writer, Emma, mentions a place that Holly has visited. When she realizes that she might actually be able to find the letter's author, Holly becomes determined to reunite Emma with the estranged grandson, Jack, with whom Emma is desperate to reconnect. When Holly finally tracks him down, she remembers that she's met Jack once before, and the connection was electric. The spark between the two of them is still there, until a misunderstanding risks their burdening romance and a strained relationship with Emma, too. But Holly is determined if she can fix Emma's family, she might also be able to fix her own. Though, as it turns out, Holly might have less time to put things right than she thought. And yeah, actually, Josie Silver gave a little blurb on the back. She says, it's a poignant, life-affirming story that will wrap around you like a hug. Yeah, so I've noticed from the books that I've gotten that I have not yet read, but from Emily Stone, she writes a lot of holiday-themed like stories. Obviously, this takes place, I'm guessing, around the holidays. But also, her stories have a lot to do with like grief, I think. And I've learned that this year my favorite genre is sad books. So yeah, I definitely want to read this. I think I'm really hoping to read at least one holiday book this season, end of November, December, January, what have you. And this is one I hope to read. Love Holly by Emily Stone. Don't know if I said the author. I probably did. I'm all over the place in my videos. I'm sure you've noticed that if you've tuned into others before. Okay, so the next up that I've recently purchased as well, actually on the same day, is Winter in New York by Josie Silver. Like I mentioned, she has a book in Reese Witherspoon's book club one day in December. That's supposed to be a very highly talked about, well-known, good book, and I hope to read that eventually because I do have it. And this is another book. I kind of remember skimming the back of it. Obviously, it takes place in New York. New York is one of my favorite places. I love Broadway, as you can tell. So, yeah, also, I love this cover. It's like a snow globe. Just a really beautiful cover as well. And I kind of remember a little bit what the book's about, but not really. So, I'll also let you know as well. I'll read what the synopsis says. So, a young chef stumbles upon a family's secret recipe that might lead her to the love and life she's been looking for. When Iris decides to move to New York City to restart her life, she realizes she underestimated how big the Big Apple really is. All the nostalgic movies she watched with her mom while eating their special secret recipe gelato didn't quite do it justice. But Bobby, Iris's best friend, isn't about to let her hide away. He drags her to a famous autumn street fair in Little Italy, and as they walk among the food stalls, a little family-run, this is probably gelatery, catches her eye. Could it be the same shop that's in an old photo of her mother's? Curious, Iris returns next day and meets the handsome Gio, who tells her that the shop is in danger of closing. His uncle, so capable of their family's gelato recipe, is recuperating from a stroke and can no longer remember it, so they can't make more. When Iris samples the last remaining batch, she realizes that their gelato and her gelato are one and the same. But how can she tell them she knows their secret recipe when she's not sure why Gio's uncle might have given it to her mother in the first place? Iris offers her services to help recreate the gelato and soon finds herself falling for Gio and his family. But when Gio's uncle finally recovers, all the secrets Iris has been keeping threaten to ruin the new life and new love she's been building all winter long. So, yeah, just seeing if there's a blurb in here by Emily Stone, because that would be pretty cool. But, yeah, she's written a few books, and Emily Stone didn't give a blurb, but that would have been pretty cool, because I just talked about an Emily Stone book. But, yeah, this sounds like another not Christmas, but holiday-themed book that takes place in New York, that also deals with maybe, like, sadness and grief as well. If you can't tell, maybe not this one, but, a lot of the holiday themed books I gravitated toward are less Hallmark movie fun rom-com, but more like sad holiday themed books potentially. But you know, I really like this cover, and it does sound like something I would like because it sounds kind of sad. And then next up is a book I got a really long time ago at this point. Not really long time ago, maybe early 2002. Reason why I got it. It was on sale at Barnes & Noble. It was 20% off. And I cannot resist a sale at Barnes & Noble. If something is on sale and it sounds somewhat interesting, I'll get it. I don't remember what this is about because I got it so long ago. But Netflix adapted a film version, I know, and I like book adaptations. So it gets me to read something I might not have read otherwise. Plus, I also have actually read a John Green novel before. I have a few of his books at this point, but I've only read Turtles all the way down, which I really liked. It's probably one of my favorite books that deals with mental health that I've read, and I definitely hope to read more of his books, you know, this year, or next year, I should say, because I'm probably only going to read maybe one or two more books this year. But yeah, this one seems like maybe a little bit lighter, a little bit fun, a little bit on the lighter side, a little bit maybe fun. I think it's a YA romance, potentially. Yeah, 3 holiday romances. I know this is a YA book. And Maureen Johnson also, I guess John Green co-wrote it with Maureen Johnson and Lauren Myracle. I don't know how to pronounce that last name, sorry. But Maureen Johnson, I'm pretty sure is the author of the Truly Devious series, a book series I own at this point, all the books, but I haven't read it yet. You know, ongoing theme to my life. I buy books that I don't read for years and then I'll eventually read them, but I'll let you know what this is about and I'll relearn what it's about along the way as well. An ill-timed storm on Christmas Eve buries the residents of Gracetown under multiple feet of snow and causes quite a bit of chaos. One brave soul ventures out into the storm from her stranded train and sets off a chain of events that will change quite a few lives over the next 3 days. One girl takes a risky shortcut with an adorable stranger. 3 friends set out to win a race to the Waffle House and hash brown spoils. and the fate of a teacup pig falls into the hands of a lovesick barista. A trio of today's best-selling authors, John Green, Maureen Johnson, and Lauren Myracle. I've never read any books by Lauren Myracle before. Let me know if there's any you recommend. I mean, yeah. Okay. Brings all the magic of the holidays to life in 3 hilarious and charming interconnected tales of love, romance, and kisses that will steal your breath away. This sounds like a lot of fun. Like a breath of fresh air. If I'm, want to take a break from the sad books, this sounds like a really cute, sweet, fun story. Plus, there's a Netflix adaptation. And I know this is a very popular bookish opinion, but I love when they advertise like the adaptations on the book, like the little, it's not a sticker, but it's like a stamp of some kind. I like it. I feel like it gives the book a little pizzazz, but that's just me. I'm pretty sure that's an unpopular opinion, but definitely hope to read that this winter. And this book, One Last Gift, an Emily Stone novel. See, I'll show you. Well, her Always in December one looks a little bit more like this design, but you don't they like look similar? You can tell it's by the same artist, and I love that. Okay, so yeah, this was a book I definitely got this probably early last year. Buy one get one half off at Barnes and Noble. They had like a bunch of holiday books in that kind of sale. I don't know, it could have been end of last year, but I'm pretty sure it was probably early this year. Yeah, so this one stood out to me because cute cover. Yeah, it's One Last Gift by Emily Stone. Probably said that already, but I've noticed I got this because it sounds like a sad story. Because I kind of remember what it's about, but not really. But actually, this is a book that I made a video earlier this year about the 23 books I wanted to read in 2023, and this was one of them. So I dare to say, I'm not sure. The other ones, now that I'm reading what they're about again, or reading what they are about for the first time, I kind of want to read all of them. So I'm just a slow reader. I don't make reading a priority, even though I buy books like I do. But, hopefully I get around to reading this because it was on my TBR for the year. But I'll let you guys know what it's about if you've never heard of this before, and I'll reintroduce myself as well to what it's about. Sometimes the best gifts in life are the ones you don't expect. Casey and Tom lost their parents at a young age and relied on each other, as well as a community of friends, to cope. They were especially close with Tom's best friend Sam, who always made sure that Tom and Cassie were surrounded with love. But now, 20 years later, Cassie has lost Tom as well, and in a way, she also lost Sam. Over the years, they've drifted apart, and these days, the man she always had a crush on is someone she doesn't even recognize. She's never felt more alone. Then Cassie finds an envelope with her name on it, written in Tom's terrible handwriting, and she knows immediately what it is. It's the first clue in the Christmas scavenger hunt that Tom made for her every year. He promised her for months that this year's would be the grandest one yet. Sorry about that. At first, she's too scared to open the envelope. What if she can't figure out the clues without his help? Or what if she doesn't figure them all out and her last connection to Tom is gone? Tom's presence sets Cassie on a heartwarming and beautiful journey that will change her life if she lets it. As she travels from London to the Welsh mountains to the French countryside, she reconnects with old friends, rekindles a lost love, and most important, rediscovers herself. But once she's solved the final clue, will she be brave enough to accept the gift her brother has given her and the love it's led to her? And Josie Silver, there's a blurb by Josie Silver. A poignant, life-affirming story. Oh. Well, it says kind of, oh wait, maybe, let's see if this blurb that, okay, this blurb was just for Emily Stone in general, because it was very similar blurb. It says, a poignant, life-affirming story that will wrap around you like a hug, ... keep tissues nearby. Josie Silver. And this is praise for Always in December. But you know what? I'm talking about this book today, so I got a little off track there. But I was like, that blurb sounds very similar. But anyway, yeah, the blurb for okay, off track. But this blurb was just for praise for Emily Stone. This blurb, I don't know why I'm talking about blurbs. This is off track. I'm sorry. But yeah, this sounds like a really sweet, heartwarming, sad story that maybe is uplifting and hopeful at the same time. And I absolutely love stories like that. So this was on my TBR for this year, so let's see if we get around to it. I guess we'll find out next year when I go over that video of did I read anything on my 2023 TBR. And just to, throw a mystery thriller into the mix, when I was picking out these books to, make for this video. This book was very close nearby. And what can I say? I'm a movie reader. I'm like, oh, this sounds like maybe something I would like to read right now. So that is a book by Riley Sager called Survive the Night. And I'm sure you guys who watch BookTube are very familiar with Riley Sager. He writes very popular mystery thrillers. And at this point, I actually have all of Riley Sager's books. I have not read any yet. That's like an ongoing theme for me in books. But yeah, if you've read all of his books, let me know which ones you think I should start with first. But I really like this cover. It's very mysterious, kind of scary, but it grabs your attention. And I thought, you know, all my books for my holiday winter TBR were kind of holiday themed, but I thought I'd just throw, like I said, a thriller into the mix, thriller mystery. So I'll let you know what it's about. Okay, so it's November 1991. Nirvana's in the tape deck. George H.W. Bush is in the White House, and movie-obsessed college student Charlie Jordan is in a car with a man with a man who might be a serial killer. Josh Baxter, the man behind the wheel, is a virtual stranger to Charlie. They met at the campus ride board, each looking to share the long drive home to Ohio. Both have good reasons for wanting to get away. For Charlie, it's guilt and grief over the shocking murder of her best friend, who became the third victim of the man she knows as the campus killer. For Josh, it's to help care for his sick father, or so he says. The longer she sits in the passenger seat, the more Charlie notices there's something suspicious about Josh, from the holes in his story about his father to how he doesn't want her to see inside the trunk. As they travel an empty, twisty highway in the dead of night, an increasingly anxious Charlie begins to think she's sharing a car with the campus killer. Is Josh truly dangerous, or is Charlie's jittery mistrust merely a figment of her movie-fueled imagination? One thing is certain, Charlie has nowhere to run and no way to call for help. Trapped in a terrifying game of cat and mouse, played out in pitch-black roads and in neon-lit parking lots, Charlie knows the only way to win is to survive the night. The name of the book. And yeah, this sounds really interesting, and it sounds like a really good thriller. So, like I said, I'm very much a movie reader. Will I read any of these books? I hope to read at least one. That's usually how my TBRs go. I'll pick a bunch of books, and I usually pick at least one. So, which one will I read? That is very much to be determined. But these were the books I talked about today. Like I said, I'm reading No Exit currently, and the rest were my TBR, my winter TBR for, you know, like end of November, December, January, February, what have you. And this video is kind of on the long side. I wasn't really perfect at reading the book synopsises. My words got, you know, I talked over myself on occasion or mispronounced something, but you know, that's how it goes sometimes. And let me know in the comments if you've read any of the books I talked about. You know, what are your thoughts on them? How did you like them? Or, you know, what's on your winter TBR for the remainder of this year and early next year? I'd love to hear in the comments. And yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you so very much for watching. And until next time, bye.